Let's talk money.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Money, your weekly personal finance catch-up with me, Surabhi Upadhyay. A new financial year is upon us and we wish that FY25 is a prosperous, wealthy year for all of you. Well, as you look at your money matters and, your financial plan, health insurance must be priority number one on your to-do list, just in case you don't have a cover or whether you're planning to renew your cover this year. So this week on the show, we will answer a lot of the questions that we've been getting from you on health insurance and give you a checklist that you must consider, that you must keep in mind before you go ahead and buy that health policy. My guest on the show is Sajja Praveen Chowdary, director at Policybazaar. Sajja, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sajja has taken the trouble of flying in all the way from Delhi, and flying can be really daunting in India. So Sajja, really appreciate it because this is an important subject and our viewers could definitely do with some help.
Thank you.
Okay, before we get started, and I'm telling you, we've got a flood of, queries coming in from insurance for old people to young people to, maternity. We just want to get your sense on the overall trends. I mean, one financial year has closed. So in FY24, did we see product innovation? What's happening? How are premiums looking? Just give us a bird's eye view.
Absolutely. There's been a lot of change in the product specifications or the product the way the products have come out in the last 1 year. Also in terms of premium changes as well, right? See, on the premium front, especially if you look at in the last 1 year or 2 years, there's been an absurd amount of increase in premium, given the healthcare inflation, especially after COVID and all.
What is absurd? Like, just to understand industry, what's happening?
It's probably, in some places you would see a 40 to 60% growth increase in premiums also in some of the plans. So, these kind of rises happen. But this is the cause.
So those could be maybe aberrations, big corrections. But
average would be about 40%, I would say.
14 or 40?
40%.
40% increase in health premiums over the last 2 years.
Yes. And a lot of cost of it, primarily, it's not about, insurance companies or anyone trying to do it, but it's about, post-COVID, especially the kind of medical inflation that we've seen as well.
Yeah.
That's led to this.
Now I don't feel that bad. Now I know I'm not the only one. Guys, we're in this together. Generally, because of medical insurance, the premium that we're paying for our health plans, that's going
with the inflation,
up.
Medical
Is
inflation.
it done or will there be more? What's the sense?
So at this point of time, I think, insurers would keep seeing it. Obviously, we have a very highly regulated space in India. With a tight regulator being there. So I'm sure, the insurance companies, as they kind of keep getting claims data year on year and they review, they would kind of put it up to the regulator as well. And they also need to have a well-versed or well kind of board-approved policy. So they cannot just, keep changing left, right, and center. So, it would really depend on how the claims data would arrive out and probably basis that. On the product front, there are a lot of new innovations that clearly came out in the last 1 year. We've seen a lot of modular products come into picture. When I say modular products, earlier, you had different kind of products for different segment of categories, kind of, whether it's for old age and for a new age. But these days, you have products which are coming in where you have different modular features which are available in the same product. So irrespective of your kind of thing, you can pick and choose the kind of things that you would want.
So like give us an example. What's modular product?
Yeah, for example, you're a person who has some pre-existing diseases and you would want kind of, this cover to be there from the year one or only with a 1 year waiting period instead of, say, 4 year waiting period, which is otherwise standard in the product. You can pay additional premium and you can do that. Or, for example, you can opt for a product where there's maternity coverage kind of thing. Or you can opt for a product where, whether you get some additional coverage on renewal or not. So on and so forth, right? So these are kind of put out into different modules kind of, where you can kind of choose you want a basic cover or you want a very, very highly bettered cover with a lot of add-on features into it.
So it's like instead of just having one standard buffet, now there's a la carte offering.
Absolutely.
You can kind of decide what suits you.
Instead of you kind of saying these are only 3 options for you. Now you say there's a wide variety of options that you can compare and choose from.
So let's do one thing. We've got lots of questions coming in,
Sure.
and I think a lot of the newer innovations that you're talking about, people can really sort of do with understanding this little more. So I'm going to go step by step and straight away dive in. With our first query. We have Daksh joining us. I think he's live with us now. So let's find out what his question is. Daksh, welcome to the show. What's your question?
I'm Daksh from Delhi. I'm currently 29 years old and I'll be getting married next month. So I want to ensure my spouse has an adequate health insurance coverage. Would it be possible to include her under my existing health policy or should I purchase a separate policy for her?
Okay, all right. Good thinking. You're looking at covering your spouse as well. But just to understand, since you're talking about your current policy, may I ask what is the quantum of coverage? How big is your cover?
My own health insurance provides me a coverage of rupees 10 lakhs. So should I review and make changes to my health insurance plan?
Fair enough. Very valid questions. 10 lakhs is the cover. We're speaking medical insurance, and he wants to cover his wife soon. So what's the option?
See, absolutely. You need not take a separate plan for her. You can obviously cover her under the same plan, and you can make your individual plan into a family floater plan, and that's absolutely possible, and that's not a new thing. But then the other thing that's new also is that there are plans which are future ready kind of, which means you can take a plan and in future, let's assume you're adding your spouse, at least that waiting period should not again serve a 4-year waiting period for some of the ailments, or or 2-year waiting period for all the ailments kind of thing, which otherwise is a standard thing in the plan, right? Okay. So these are things which are available and can be taken.
So okay, hang on, let me just go over this. If he converts his current plan in a family floater plan, and then in case the wife has any pre-existing diseases, then does she get covered, or will she still have to go through the waiting period?
See, she will get covered, obviously. See, in under waiting periods, there are very, very few illnesses which are very critical in nature where you might not be given a cover at all. Yeah. But otherwise, generally, you would be covered if required at an additional premium and so on and so forth, right? Post underwriting. She would be covered. It's not that she had to take a separate plan, so she'd be covered. From a waiting period perspective, there are 2-3 waiting periods. One is pre-existing disease waiting periods, and the other is about a couple of years of waiting period for ailments like kidney stones or arthritis and so on and so forth, which cannot happen over a day or a month kind of thing, right? So these kind of things, if it's future ready, the feature that's available in some of the plans, then you can basically avoid that waiting period also to an extent, is how it is. Coming to the sum insured part or the cover amount that he spoke about, he has 10 lakhs in place. So I think we would recommend that you should obviously look at a higher sum insured, especially in health insurance, because there's a lot of times people would think, why should I take it now? I can take it in future and so on and so forth. But then the way medical inflation is, just to assume that he's about 30 years old, 32 years old kind of thing. Medical inflation is like, probably every 5 years the cost would double kind of. So we'll assume, even if you had a 1 crore kind of a cover today, and by 35, you'd be 50 lakhs and so on and so forth. By the age of 60, probably you'd have about, 4 lakhs or 3 lakhs in hand? So what if you assume 3 lakh, 4 lakh in today's age at about 60, 65 years of age? Do you think that's enough? But people would say, no, I would kind of later take it up, once I'm about 40, 45 years. But, insurance is about taking care of your stuff when something really goes bad. So you cannot really guarantee that nothing would happen to you in this 30 to 40. Some accident might occur with some people, and then you might have some kind of ailment due to which the insurers might charge you up, or they might not be able to be in a position to give you cover, right? And these days ailments don't occur with age, right? Unlike the olden age kind of thing. So it is suggested that you increase your cover, at least say anything between 25 to 50 lakh kind of a thing. And basis the amount that you can shell out, obviously you should look at a 1 crore cover for sure at a younger age itself.
Let's move to the next question. Now, this is an email that we've got from Sanjay. Sanjay is from Kolkata. He's saying that his son is going to turn 24 next month, and he's wondering if he should purchase an individual health cover for his son, or whether he should, again, include the son in the family floater. Your take?
Yeah, so definitely he should, because he's turning into age where he starts to earn and he becomes independent kind of. The health plans today which generally cover your dependent children kind of. And obviously, as he moves ahead, he will also have his own family. So it becomes a bit complicated to have that entire family and limits your options of different plans. So definitely, yes, you should take a separate plan for him. And obviously, when you take a separate plan for him, you should look at, features like Future Ready, which we spoke about earlier, so that, whenever his family comes up, the waiting periods and rest of things are taken care of. So this is a good time when he's getting into his job kind of to have a separate plan. And you continue with your plan for you and your spouse kind of.
Okay, young adults, start your own insurance.
And apart from that, as we spoke, right, because, if he's young, there's a lot of chance that today younger people have focus on a lot on wellness and other stuff, which means you're walking certain number of steps in a day, you're going to gym. Again, speaking about, probably you could get a discount on second year premium or, so on and so forth, or better features.
I'm going to come back to the wellness plans. I'm very curious myself to figure out how that impacts premiums. But in just a minute, let me take some more questions and then we'll come back to the wellness benefits. The next question is from Naveen Balu. He's reached us on social media platform X. Now, he's saying that he's physically handicapped, he's physically challenged, and it's 60% disability that he's sort of enduring right now. He's saying, is there anyone who gives health insurance policy for the disabled? Can I at least get treated for other issues like a normal person? I don't get a health insurance cover easily. It's very tough to even get a cover for 10 to 20 lakhs. I think very, very pertinent question.
So, when it looks at disabilities, right, generally up to 60% disabilities, I think you can apply and you would get it, unless there are a lot of more complications, kind of. Generally, insurers would divide this into categories, either disabilities with birth or disabilities that have occurred due to accident. In both these scenarios, insurers would ask you for additional details in terms of either the reports of earlier medical checkup or hospitalization and what's the current status, kind of. And at 60% disability, it's not that you cannot get a plan. You would obviously be able to get a plan. It's just that you'll have to probably undergo slightly more underwriting checks or have to submit more of documentation. And it can go through. Unless you have apart from disability, you also have some other life-threatening conditions in place, kind of. Then it's really tough in the given situation that you might be able to get a plan. Otherwise, you should be able to get a plan in general as such.
Okay. All right. So that is for Naveen. Just to go back to the point on wellness benefits, can you just expand on this? What kind of parameters do you have to meet in order to get these wellness benefits? And I mean, how does it help in the lowering the cost of premium?
Okay. So for insurance company, the way it is, right, if you're a healthy person, obviously your chance of getting hospitalization is reduced.
So we're a lower risk entity from an insurer's perspective.
For a person who's lower risk, the insurer is happy to pass on, right? Again, you have to understand that there are about 25 to 30 general insurance companies, and it's a competitive market, and everyone would want to kind of figure out their better way to kind of give a good proposition to the consumer, right? Which makes a lot of sense. From that perspective, some of the insurance companies have been into this space in terms of saying, they've parameterized into different things, either in terms of number of steps or certain things in terms of behavior, in terms of, you getting some health checks done from time to time, or kind of, other activities, whether it's about gym or, exercise and so on and so forth, which can be again tracked through devices and can be synced back into also.
So you can't fake it?
You generally cannot fake it.
It has to be measured.
Yeah, generally it has to be measured. Otherwise, it's possible that everyone who's, who's not doing it also can just fake it as that we're doing it. So basis that, then the parameters, either you get a discount, and the amount of discount also can vary basis that, kind of.
So give us some examples of insurers who are offering.
You can look at Aditya Birla Health as one of the companies which is one of the leading or the first ones to do this in this space, kind of. And they have these plans where, basis your number of steps and the kind of stuff that you go through, you can get a discount on your secondary premium and a considerable amount. You can even, I think, get about roughly 50% if I don't.
If from what you recall, got it. Okay, that's really worth looking at. So all you health freaks out there, please go ahead and make use of your fitness goals to also get a better deal on health insurance. Well, we'll take a break on that note. On the other side, we've got a lot of questions from senior citizens as well in terms of their options when it comes to health insurance. Back with that in just a bit.
Let's talk money